Let's start. Allow your feet to connect in the center, and then bring your head top up to the highest point. Relax your shoulders, relax your hips, and then breathing deep, bring your hands together in the center. From here, pull your crown chakra up further. You can think of it as pushing up or pulling it up. And then relax your brow. Open your vision, relax your eyebrows. Open the front of your face, expand your nostrils, open the sinuses, activate the corners of the mouth. If you're outside, when you're practicing Tai Chi, you look all the way to the horizon. When you're inside, imagine that you can see all the way to the horizon. Connect the tongue to the upper palate. Unclench your jaw, relax your jaw. Pull your ears back over your shoulders, but keep the chin tucked. Hollow the chest, leave a space in the armpits. Use the center to support. Relax the lower back and allow it to expand. Fold the insides of the hips. The knees are not straight, they're flexed. Make sure that your ankles feel powerful. You can feel as if you're flexing your ankles. Pull your heel inward towards the front of your foot and pull your toes in the front of the foot backwards towards the back of the foot. And then internally, on the feet, we're opening bubbling wells, the point on the bottom of the foot. So make a connection to the ground through the bottom of the foot. And then internally, we're also lifting the pelvic floor, the perineum, the base of the torso, pulling up gently on everything at the bottom when we're breathing. And then also internally, we're connecting the tongue to the upper palate, to the roof of the mouth. Relax. Let's start with some Qigong. I recommend when you have to do something that you prepare for the something that you do. So if you go to drive your car, if it's an electric car, you charge it. If it's a gas-powered car, you fill it with gas. Before you sit down to do the writing, you make sure that you have all of your reference material, you make sure that your head is in the right state to do the writing, and you prepare your desk, your computer, the paperwork is all ready. Before we do Tai Chi, before we work out, before we do something physical, we should prepare. And so this basic Qigong that we're doing, you can use as a stretch, so push into the ground, and then reach up into the sky as far as you can, and then reaching out to the sides as well. And then long, relaxed breathing. You can read books on Qigong, and they have all different types of names for all different types of breathing techniques. Think of it as your body as a compressor. You want to store up all of this energy, all of the oxygen that you're breathing in. This topic gets sort of meta because we can zoom out and look at a picture of your whole day. Before you start your day, you should prepare. In the morning when you wake up, if you go to meditate for 20 minutes, sitting, standing, practice Tai Chi for 20 minutes, you'll have a good preparation for your whole day. While you're practicing this exercise, see if you can maintain all of the Tai Chi principles. So keep the head top up. Sink the tailbone. And these principles being applied continuously while we practice. So as you move, we want to keep the spine straight, the neck straight. chest hollow, feet gripping the ground. Center is supporting the back, is open and expanded so energy can travel. Wherever you're at, do 2 more. And then we're going to return to Tai Chi Harmony. When you finish, bring your feet together back in the center. Pull your head top up, breathe deep, and then calibrate. And for the more experienced practitioners, pardon me, you can also, while you are practicing Tai Chi Harmony, pushing up, gripping the ground, and fixing all the points in the middle, see how relaxed you can be doing all of those things. I like to break it down into 3 parts: top, middle, and bottom. And when we start the application portion of classes, when we're waiting for some things to arrive, and then we're going to start a series on what do the Tai Chi postures mean. We'll get more into that. But the top, the middle, and the bottom can be used to define what's happening. So let's stretch a little bit, and we'll do some Tai Chi. So take one hand, reach behind across to the other ear, and then reaching out. And again, the same thing. Exercise the Tai Chi ideas. Straighten your neck. Breathe deep. Connect the tongue. Lift the base of the torso. And can you do all these same things more relaxed? Change. Try the other side. So push up through the head top. Line up your nose with your thumb. Pull your elbow, the other elbow back. Breathe deep. Grip the ground. Change. When you come back to the center, take a comfortable stance, and then do some shoulder rotations, or neck rotations. Lock your shoulders in place. Start slow. For people that are on the West Coast, if it's early for you, especially waking up, there's a Taoist idea of starting and stopping that comes from our observation of the sun. Change directions if you haven't already. And this is your stretch. So go at the speed and stretch the places that need it more. There's a Taoist concept of starting and stopping that originate from the sun. So in the morning, we see the sun, and it's, I got a frog in my throat, so I'm gonna have some tea. In the morning, the sun's rays are very gentle, and they work themselves up to noon. Noon, 1 o'clock is when the sun's rays are most powerful. And then from there, it sets and it becomes less powerful. And actually, in some Qigong schools, they feel that the sun starts to pull Qi with it during the sunset. So some schools will say, don't look at the sunset because it can pull your Qi. You can actually test this if there is a sunset. Face in both directions and feel your body temperature. When it's not windy, when it's a calm day, you should be able to feel your Qi interacting with the environment. Where were we? Stretching. Now shoulder rolls. So make your spine straight. Make this movement come from the center so that everything is moving. Open your ribs, collarbones, shoulder blades. Breathing deep, change directions. And then come back to the center. We're going to turn around the center so you can take a more balanced stance, and breathing deep, stretch out your spine. by pushing up and relaxing your tailbone. And then send your arms on vacation. So keep working, keep turning, keep breathing. I want you to imagine that you're making your spine longer this way and that the centrifugal force is going out around the center. So I want you to feel two axes, horizontal for your arms and vertical for your spine. And see by twisting how sort of large you can make that spinning shape feel. Relax, come back to the center. Let's do a second one, where in this one I'm going to turn my knee with my toe. Same thing, make your head top up there and sink your tailbone down there. This one has a slightly inclined axis from the center. For the next one, the most important for the next one is to sink into the foot. So as it feels like the chi is going up, but we don't want to fly away with it, right? We want to be able to have a tai chi. Some energy is going up, gravity doing the rest. Breathe. Can you make the swinging natural so it's just like a pendulum? Relax your shoulders. Pull your head top up there and let the frame hang and swing from that. Come back to the center. Like a combination of the last two. Sorry, it's number 4. We're going to reach over, pat yourself on the back. This is a heavy week, so if you succeeded this week, congratulations. If you didn't succeed this week, you can still pat yourself on the back because you had to make some effort. Remember to breathe. Try to make it as relaxed as if I didn't stop, it would continuously spin. By the way, this exercise that we're just doing right now is, if you watch this, we have this kind of exercise where we turn it and then we grab here. If I face the camera and I bring it up, over, and back, and turn here, back. This for the stick class, for anyone studying stick. This is also working for nunchucks. My nunchucks are in the bag, and I'm not going to pull those out. But this is the same movement you can achieve using that stick. This is also a great boxing technique. If you're boxing somebody, you have a block and you have a hit that goes in here for very close range, right? Yeah. Let's do a little bit more stretching. Grip the ground with your feet. Take a comfortable stance. Push your tailbone back and away. Let your head top relax. Let your spine stretch. And I want you to see if you can relax so that you can feel the energy moving, the chi, down your back. When you're ready, grip the ground and use your abs to unroll your spine. When you get upright, if you have tea, take a tea break. By the way, self-defense goes far beyond what we do here in class. If you have lots of meetings at work and you have to present and you have to talk a lot, knowing to rest between those presentations. Don't burn out your throat chakra, the chi that makes the vibration from this area. Okay, second one. Grip the ground. Push your tailbone back and away. Relax your spine. And see if you can feel the energy moving. Let your head top completely relax. So relax all the tendons in your neck, your back. And see if you can make your sensitivity so subtle that you feel the blood moving with gravity. Grip the ground, unroll, from your center, expand all the way, and relax. You know what, I want to do something else that I don't think we've done in this class for a couple weeks, but I do every day, and that's this one. So you don't have to take a particular stance, but if you take a square stance or gongbu, rectangular stance, you can do this one. I like to do it while I'm walking. And really focus on your spine. That's the purpose of this one, is to open, like we had said, if you're jamming something around in the soil. So pull the head top up. You can do this at your own pace. By the way, hitting the hands lower, down here by the butt, up higher is harder. I can't even get them together. Okay, so let's continue with legs. Here we want to take shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Push your tailbone back and away. Make your spine straight, and then stretch. When you're ready, push through, grip the ground, breathe. And then change directions. So, shoulder width wide, shoulder width deep. Fold the inside of this hip, keep that leg straight. Make your spine straight, reach over the leg. Sit your tailbone back as far as you can, and either make your spine fully straight by pushing your crown chakra forward, or look up and push your chin all the way forward, grip the ground, push forward, take a deep breath. Relax. Let's do one more thing. Practice your balance, grip the ground, and turn your ankle. Change, go the other direction. And then change, grip, balance, change directions. Remember to breathe. Okay, so today let's do Tai Chi. Let's do some Tai Chi up to. We had a question last week in the second section about needle at the bottom of the C. And there was also mention of Dibuhua, which is fold knees down. And these two postures have a very similar but slightly different mechanism for the legs and the dynamic of what's happening. So I want to explore those sort of two, and we can talk about the needle at the bottom of the C in the third section as well, the difference between one side and the other side, something, at least how I interpret them. So I don't know about this space, I don't know about its dimensions, and let me see if I can make an adjustment here. Okay, and then, I don't know. I have not taught in this space before, so let's see if we can make that happen. Let's do some Tai Chi. Okay, so this form is roughly shaped like this. We take a few steps forward and then travel. And when you practice in a big open space, by the way, for those that know the second and third section, once you get to here, most of the second and third section happen in this. So if you're making a map in your mind of where it's going to be. So bring the head top up, sink the tailbone down, bring your hands together in the center. And then we can recalibrate for Tai Chi harmony. Pull the head top up, relax the brow, open the vision, nostrils, connect the tongue, tuck the chin, ears over the shoulders, chest is hollow, center supporting, back is all relaxed, folding in at the center, lifting the perineum, gripping the ground, flexing the ankles. We can do all that In fact, we want to be practicing all of those ideas all the time during the form. So we want to be able to understand the meaning of the posture well enough to make a movement, but also keep the alignment. Commencement, opening shoulder width wide. Breathe deep, grasp the sparrow's tail. Ward off. Breathing deep, grasp the sparrow's tail left. Right, ward off. Roll back. Join your palms together, press. Push. Look left, glance right, double push. Split. Hook. Single whip. Turning north, lift hands to up posture. Turning 90 degrees to the west. This is crane. Opening the wings. Play the harp. Brush knee, press right to the center. Square step back. Crane opens the wings. Play the harp. Brush knee, press to the center. Brush knee, C-step. Press. Brush knee, C-step. Press. Holding the moon in the chest. Embrace the moon. Ban Lan Shui. Ban Lan Shui. Am I still on camera? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Reset. Ban Lan Shui. Corner. Parry. Punch. Rufong. Sleep. As if an enclosure. We're going to continue to the second section. So when you return tiger to mountain, before you finish, bring the feet together. T-step. Hands go right on top of each other. Square step. Palm press to the center. Inhale, breathe deep to roll back. Squeeze. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Turn back to look at the moon. Right hand covers, left hand spear fist. Repulse the monkey. 1. Repulse the monkey number 2. Share fei. Diagonal flying. Hai Li Zhang. Kneel at the bottom of the sea. San Tombe. Block. Punch. Kick. Square step. Lan. Shui. Di Bu Hua. Keep your head top up. Shang Bu Yi. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. And when we go from horizontal split hands I want you to end in Tai Chi harmony. Take a deep breath, relax, etc. Before we continue, questions, thoughts, comments, ideas. Okay. One of the things that I wanted to do this week was an X-stepping sort of, a little bit of a X-stepping workshop, because it ties into what we're going to talk about today with the leg work. And the first thing that I want to look at is fold knees down, because the exit of fold knees down is very interesting. It's called Shang Bu Li, and we know Li from this very sort of third postures, depending on how you stack it. Li is rollback, right? This thing. So Shang Bu, Shang means change, Bu means step. We say Di Bu Hua. Di is a step. I'm sorry, Bu. Bu is a step. Ma Bu. Ma is a horse. Bu is a stance. So let's look at first X-stepping for how to condition the legs. I'm not going to do like a full X-stepping workshop, but I do want to talk to people that are trying to develop their Tai Chi legs, and X-stepping is a great way to do it. And one of the things that I wanted to work on was, we used to do an exercise with TC where he had about a dozen different ways that he taught X-stepping. And today what we're going to look at is as if we're stepping over something. You may see different Tai Chi practitioners, when they're doing something, bring their foot way in and step it way out. That's a theory for another class. But for now, just X-stepping. Start from your center. Imagine that it's higher than your knee. There's a log or a piece of wood or a rock, and there's one in every corner. So you need to step over the rock and then into the corner. Make your foot lined up to the grid. And then bring your other foot, has to also go over top of the rock. And then return, so step over the rock, ground, grip your foot, relax your tailbone, bring your other foot up and over, be able to control it, right? And then front right, step over the thing, and then line your foot up to the square, grip the ground, and then bring your other foot, has to clear the fence, or the rock, the stick, whatever it is, and bring your other foot with it. And now the same, front left, step up, corner. Have control the whole time. I just fell into that step. So grip the ground. Center. And then the same thing with the other foot. Bring it. You got to use your imagination. You could use actual obstacles if you like to put a box, something to test, right? And by the way, let's, can I mark the carpet? Does it show up? For our square? No, you can't see it. Kind of a little bit maybe. In any case, when we're X-stepping, we want to have our feet lined up geometrically the whole time. So when you practice this kind of stepping, you can condition your legs to support the whole body. One of the things, if you're practicing, take a break for a second, breathe. This is a great leg workout. One of the things when we practice Tai Chi is if we don't have balance, we end up falling. So we want to be able to, at every stage, be able to check before we commit. And then make sure that we have balance in this leg so that we can return if we need to. Something like this. X-stepping. Shang Bu Li. Needle at the bottom of the C. In the second section, I'm basically sitting on my right leg, and my left leg is in a type of hanging stance. the purpose of it is almost the same as fold knees down. So needle at the bottom of the C comes off of diagonal flying. In the second section, someone has connected to this wrist. The reason we make this big lotus flower up top is because they're trying to hold on. So this is much easier to demonstrate with another person. But if you have somebody where you're at, tell them to grab onto your wrist and then make a big circle and then like a needle going down. So from this diagonal flying, which is like an offset ward off, we're going to make a big circle, and then when this palm comes in front, I'm going to have the palm facing out, and it's going to rotate until it's facing in. And this also wants to be in my center, so we don't want to have needle at the bottom of the C off to the side. So always driving towards that center. And the thing is that they're not going to be able to hold on here. But if somehow they manage, we can both sink and have this sinking connected here. And if all of that still doesn't work, we have this pry bar action, right? So if any of you have ever used extended shears or tree cutters where they have a stick and they have a scissor at the end, and you sort of, some of them actually have like extended clippers. That's the same around the center post. We can make these like two staves that are pivoted to the center and generate a lot of power from the center. So that's this. And then coming out of that, down through back, it looks more like Wu style. This is more Yang style, vertical on the spine. So now let's look at needle at the bottom of the C from the third section. Different. Let's do that again. If I'm facing this way, if I face the side when I'm here, someone is now connected to my lower hand. And instead of going around up here, I'm going to come around on this side. And on this one, I'm crossing my other foot in front to get into this snake. So maybe I shouldn't have a dark pants on when I'm teaching this. So here, my other foot is crossing, coming down. And then here, this hand is replacing for this, right? So the third section is much fancier. Second section, I'm here, I come around and go down and come up. Third section, I come here, come down, down, up, press. Confusing? Okay, that's okay. Kung Fu, Confucius, confusing. Now let's talk about Dibuhua. So Dibuhua, we had the square. So if you imagine that square that I drew is double because this is my shoulder width wide. So if I put my foot here, the alignment for my feet is I want to turn this foot and knee and aim it directly at the other one. So if I have a square, my leg is crossing. I don't know if it's visible. But Dibuhua from the punch is straight down this way. And the purpose of Dibuhua is something like somebody again is attached to your arm. Just imagine you have anything. I'm looking, I can't use my mouse because it's still attached. But imagine you have a mouse on the edge of the table and the string is there and you sync this. Everything that's connected to that is going to sync. So Dibuhua requires strong legs. The name in Mandarin, Dibuhua, is like fold knees down, the folding step down. So from this punch, we assume someone's done grasp the sparrow's tail. If I make my body structure like steel from this point to my center, it's like a moving statue, like one piece. And then I can just drop that whole piece. And it's connected to my center. My legs support that. Very straightforward. The other hand can do two things. Remember, we said we had this pry bar. If this doesn't work, I can use my thumb like a duck's beak fist here, where I brace my thumb here, and then use this like if you have a screwdriver or you want to scrape something off there. You can attack the knuckles and the empty spaces between the fingers to break the grip. So I punch, and the basic one is here, this. But after the punch, I can also have this other hand come all the way out and around. I can use it for a block, and I can also connect it to this next piece to do this. Very basic, very simple posture, right? What is the avoid, make contact, and advance? Somebody has punched, I've punched and they have caught. So they've already made contact, they're already connected. Our next step is to make contact and advance. There's no avoid once you're connected. So the sinking is the next phase, and then the attack can be here. By the way, this particular Dibuhua leads into a rollback. Rollback is generally considered to be defensive. It means there's something big that's approaching you. Rollback is the technique that bullfighters use. There's a bull approaching them. They're moving all of their parts like a vortex out of the way. So the same thing, if you have an opponent, it doesn't matter, vehicle, roll back, you get out of the way, right? That's the purpose of rollback. But how can we use this backward flushing movement as an attack? From Dibuhua in the second section, the Shang Bu Li is the key. So when we have a punch, if I fold knees down, the next movement is Shang Bu Li, which means change step, roll back. And you may notice I do it a couple different ways. And I think there's about 5 different ways that you can do it. I standardize it for myself, but you should understand. Punch, Shang Bu means change step. So when I come up, I'm here, I have to change my step. If I have my square, right, if this is the square I was using, I can change step in place and do a left rollback. But I can also, from Dibuhua, step forward and initiate a rollback, right? This is depending on what your opponent is doing after the Dibuhua. So after I've done fold knees, if my opponent tries to retract, I can follow their space, connect with their energy, and return it. If I punch and my opponent is connected and I Dibuhua and they want to collapse on me, they want to fall onto me, I can change step backwards and roll back. Left and right. Punch. If they want to start to circumnavigate this side, I can change step left. And the same thing, change step right. So this is a place where everybody wants to know how to do the Tai Chi form. What's right? What's the right way? You have to study to understand what makes the most sense for you. The postures we know, we agree upon. Our school's founder wrote them, had them interpreted, had them translated. What happens between them? The same. When I do Dibuhua, I like to bring this other hand around before I do my thing. That was a backward stepping Shang Bu Li. Questions, thoughts, comments, ideas about any of that? Okay, let's do a little bit more Tai Chi, and we'll do something a little different. But 2 things I wanted to talk about are the reason X-stepping is important, and I do think that I want to make a specific class for X-stepping. I didn't want to bore my seniors, our senior friends in Tai Chi, the people that have been studying for a long time, with an X-stepping workshop, but I feel it would be valuable. The reason I want to do it is because people watching the videos at home, whether you practice for a long time or not, if you like to be able to do this kind of Tai Chi, that's coming from the X-stepping, the leg coordination, right? It's the same thing if we're X-stepping and I step back to the corner and I have to step over the box and step into the ground. This other foot coming up is the same. And you should be able to make power and still have that same balance. So it seems rudimentary, but for some of us, regular yoga, regular exercise, X-stepping, too random. You can cultivate the same leg strength, same power with Tai Chi. One more thing before I forget for the class. This is kind of interesting. The reason we practice what we're practicing is not for boxing. Yes, we learn self-defense. We learn how to deal with incoming mass, but it's not for boxing. It's for how to maintain our bodies. So when we do these kind of exercises, my teacher would say, look at the movements of the shoulders. They make more of a parenthesis. They don't do this. And he studied with people in Taiwan and China, and he said, if you do this, your shoulder's going to wear out. They are on half circles. They're on semicircles here. And so he was focused on repetition over a long period of time. And I heard or read something on the internet this week that I thought was fascinating, and I wanted to share it because we all have to put our pants on every day. And it said, bending over to put your pants on can create a back strain. And I thought, wow, that's somebody looking at things over the long course of time. So the recommendation was to sit on the edge of your bed, or when you put your shoes or something reaching here. But I have another answer. You can do Tai Chi, Jinji Tu Li. You put one, and then you bring the other one. But you have to have the balance, because this is what the problem is. It's the cantilevered structure, right? But if you have the perfect balance, how can putting a pair of pants on hurt? My spine is straight the whole time. Let's do a little bit more Tai Chi before. I think we have about 15 minutes left. Anyone have questions, thoughts, comments? I'm sorry, this is probably very random. I'm like covering a whole bunch of stuff at once. Let's do the first section and second section, and we'll go up through cloud hands just for the sake of doing some Tai Chi. So pick a space, and when you get to that space, center yourself, center your mind, center your breathing, center your alignment, pull your head top up, and then let the rest of your body hang off of the center. It's the weekend, so let gravity do the work. If your bones are lined up correctly, they will magically support your structure without any effort. How does it work? Breathing. Commencement. Breathe deep, right grasp the sparrow's tail. Step forward, square left, ward off. Breathing left, grasp the sparrow's tail. Step forward, right, ward off. Breathing deep, roll back. Join the palms, press forward. Push. Look left, glance right, double push, horizontal split hands. Hook, single whip, turning to the north, split, brush. I can use the wall here. You're rolling up and then rolling back down. Turn, west, crane, opens the wings. So wei pi pa, press. That small section repeats. 拜护两次, white crane, displaying the wings. Play the harp. Brush knee, warning palm. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Brush knee. C-step. Press. Embrace the moon. Bon Lan Shui. Corner. Expand. Punch. Bon Lan Shui. Move. Parry. Punch as if you're enclosed in French doors. Close left, close right, turning 90 degrees to the north. This is embrace tiger, return to mountain, continuing to the second section. Breathe deep to roll back. These are the same 8 movements. Press. Push. Left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Turn back to look at the moon. Repulse the monkey. Number 2, avoid, make contact. Advance, avoid, make contact, repulse the monkey. Number 3, opening to the side. It's a sure thing. Needle at the bottom of the seat. Needle twists all the way down. Keep your back straight. Senton Bei. Then Shin Pi Shin Shui. Block, punch, kick. Lan. Shui. Keep your spine straight. Head top up. Di Bu Hua. Shen Bu Yi. Press. Push. Look left. Glance right. Double press. Split. Hook. Side whip. Right, left, right, left, cloud hands, 3 of 3, 2 more, hook, corner whip, bring your feet together, return to Tai Chi Harmony. Okay, how is that? We got a message here saying it's time. Cool. Okay, anyone have thoughts, questions, ideas, comments? We're going to come back to these postures because the shape in Di Bu Hua repeats somewhere else, and yeah, we need to talk about stepping, leg work, and footwork. If there's no questions, let's close the class. I don't know. I can't see anybody asking, so let's just do kind of the reverse. Remember, we said earlier the Tao is looking at the heavens. So, like the sun rising on one side and setting on the other. So, breathing deep. You can make this a stretch. You can make it a qigong. what makes an activity, Qigong activity, is you have a meditation involved. So there's a movement, there's a breathing strategy, and there's something in your mind, or nothing in your mind, but there's a meditation strategy as well. So, can you play Qigong football? Of course. You have a movement. You carry the ball and you run. Or soccer, what we call soccer, football, most of the world, not in the US. You run and kick the ball. But either way, and if you have a meditation in your mind, you have some vision to score the goal or score a touchdown with the soccer ball or the football. You have a movement, you have a breathing, and you have a meditation. And this is what making champions. When you see football champion, swimming champion, sports champion, they're doing Qigong. They're not just moving their bodies and breathe and hoping that they catch their breath. They're moving their bodies with Tai Chi principles. They're focusing their breathing for optimum performance. And in their mind, they succeed. In their mind, they're already at the end of the game with the trophy in their hand, sitting on top of the teammates' shoulders with the victory. So when you practice your Qigong, you shouldn't have something trivial, your bills, your worries in your mind. You should put yourself in the place you want to be. On the next one, I'm not counting, so if you have, if that bothers you that it's not balanced, you have to balance it out. Let your hands float, see if you can get in touch with the chi around you, so the arms riding on the air. And then return back to Tai Chi harmony. I can't tell if I'm in the center of the screen, I don't know my environment yet. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. To some extent, you can leave them partially open if it's not safe to close them entirely. And put your mind into your belly button, your dantian. Breathing deep internally, take a deep breath, smile to yourself, and give thanks to yourself. The dantian is the kinetic energy center. It does not need your eyes to sense the motion. It has its own innate brain-like functions, and it's movement, kinetics. And then move your consciousness up into the center of your heart. This chakra, this center, deals with a different type of vibration, sound vibration. So smile to your heart. Your heart has a bag around it called the pericardium. And in Qigong culture, Chinese medicine, this is like a force field in Star Wars or Star Trek. So smile to your pericardium. There's connection from your ear to your heart. When people say negative things to you, it travels in and can affect your heart if your pericardium is weak. And then smile to your heart as well. Smiling, giving thanks. Take a deep breath, focused on your center. And then moving one more time up into the center of your brain. Third eye right between the eyes. First, imagine that you can relax your brain just like you do any other muscle. It's not a muscle, but imagine that you can let the tension go out of it. And then inside of yourself, smile to your brain, breathing deep. Take a second to give thanks to your brain. It's working. You can take a class. You can see and understand your fingers and toes working under your control. That's a big thanks, big gratitude. One more time, move your consciousness outside of yourself. You can have X-ray vision, see through the house. Move as far away as you feel that you can still see yourself. And from that faraway place, smile to yourself and take a second to give thanks to yourself. You can name yourself by name, internally, externally, however you like. Bring your consciousness back to the center. Grip your feet on the ground. Connect to the earth. From the Dantian, take one more long, last, deep breath. And that's it. Have a great weekend.